Shalom, Mashpaka.
Shalom.
The water for coming out, the water for being hearers of the word, the water to the Mashpaka who's going to receive this word, whether it be here in the park or it be on YouTube later once this video is posted. The water to the Akim out here reading the word, serving the Most High wholeheartedly, and serving their will, serving the purpose, and bringing it out in these last days, in this wicked, wicked world that we live in, that we've been held captive in, that we're waking up to the truth and realizing who we are and what our purpose is, that the Most High created for us. I want to start out by just sharing a little testimony before I came into the truth of a gentleman who just recently passed away from the tribe of Ephraim. He was seen me one day without my shirt, and I got my last name tattooed across my stomach. And he seen me and he said, "You're a Hebrew." And I was like, "Nah, I'm pretty sure I'm Mexican." He goes, "Nah, you're a Hebrew." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Perez on your name, that's a Hebrew name. It's in the Bible." And I was like, "Yeah, I've never seen that. I'm Mexican, as far as I know." And I didn't take heed to what he was saying, but at a later date, I said, "You know what, let me see what he's talking about. Let me see if I see the name Perez in the Bible." So I looked it up, and sure enough, there's a couple spots in the Bible where it says the name Perez. One of those, I believe, is 2 Samuel, where he talks about, paraphrasing, Perez Uzzah was walking with King David and the Ark of the Covenant. And as the Ark of the Covenant started to tip, Perez Uzzah reached out his hand to stable it. And the Most High had given clear instructions for nobody to touch that Ark. And so when he reached out to touch it, to stable it, although he had good intentions, he was not adhering to what was given clear instructions by the Most High to not touch it. And so the Most High struck him down and he perished. King David was a little upset by that, and so he named that spot where his friend Perez Uzzah perished as Uzzah. So when he gave me that information, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I never knew my last name was in the Bible. And a couple years later, that's when I realized who I really was in the Bible. I wasn't Mexican. I was from the tribe of Issachar.
That's right.
And it was brothers like here that I have standing with me who realized who they were and had the idea and the wisdom to seek that truth out through the Spirit of the Most High. And so we've got brothers here from the tribe of Issachar. We got brothers here from the tribe of Judah. And like that brother that told me I was a Hebrew, I wish I had the opportunity to tell him that he was from the tribe of Ephraim. Because he fully embraced that he was Boricua, that he was Puerto Rican. So much love to that man for giving me the wisdom that he did, even though I didn't understand. And may the Most High bless his journey wherever that may be. But all praises to the Most High for giving him the wisdom to recognize who I was and let me know that. So Thawada Abanawa Yahawah for blessing that man to be in my life and be where I'm at today.
Hallelujah.
So I want to start out with the book of Matthew 22 and 14 as it takes me through my explanation of the book of Nehemiah.
Bring it out.
Khan. Matthew 22 and 14, Baba Kasha.
Ethnicity on your father's side, if I'm not asking. Your nationality and your ethnicity on your father's side.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 14.
Wake him up.
In the words of Yahawashi, for many are called, but few are chosen.
Fine. And that says it plain as day right there. Many are called, but few are chosen. We have plenty of people walking by saying, "Oh, preach." We have plenty of people saying, "Oh, I believe what you say." But are they living what we're preaching? Are they living what the Most High preached? As my Ak Joel just said, those were the words of Yahawashi. The modern world knows him as Jesus, but we don't. We call him by his true name, his Hebrew name. The letter J wasn't invented until 1600, and if we have a little bit of common sense, we know that the Most High's son, Yahawashi, was alive before the letter J, so there's no way his name was Jesus. That's just what the Greeks called him. So the water for bringing that out, and the reason why I brought that out is to kind of explain what our purpose and what the will of the Most High is by having us out here today to read this word. Because many are many are called, but few are chosen. 1/3 will be the elect. 2/3 will be destroyed.
That's right.
So can I please get Isaiah 64:8?
Con.
Baba Kasha. Yeah.
All praises. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 64 and verse 8.
Con.
But now, O Lord, thou art our fathers. We are the clay, and thou art potter, and we all are the work of thy hand.
Con. We are the clay. The Most High is the potter. So that brings me to what my discussion today will be on our purpose, on His will. We are the clay in His hands.
That's right.
He makes us for His purpose. We are to serve His will. And that's not to say we won't go do what we think we want to do, but little do we know we are doing the will of the Most High, because He is the potter. We are just the clay. We do not form ourselves. He forms us.
That's right.
Can I please? Oh, and if you think about clay in the... was there more to that, King?
No.
Oh, if you think about clay, what kind of things can be made of clay? You've got cups. You've got plates. You got bowls. You got incense holders. You have pitchers. You have candle holders. And if we think of a pitcher made of clay, what does it hold? Back then, it wasn't holding Kool-Aid. Back then, it wasn't holding Old English 1800 or Jose Cuervo Gold. It was holding water or wine. So can I please get Jeremiah 18:6, Baba Kasha?
That's right. Bring that out.
It took me a while to recognize what my purpose was,
That's right.
but I learned when I humbled myself to the Most High in the Spirit that I would serve His will
That's right.
without question and do what needs to be done. And that's why we're out here today as the Most High is chosen, hopefully to be the elect, to do His will, to bring out this word. Because I could be easily just like you, coming out of pocket, buying stuff that I don't need, buying things like pork belly sandwiches that's an abomination, if I don't mind my adding, or listening to some folly music talking about good times when we're here in this captivity. So Salak, bring that out, King.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 18 and verse 6.
That's
Bring it
right.
out.
O house of Israel,
House of who?
the house of Israel,
Nah, the house of Esau.
the house of Israel,
Maybe the house of Moab?
the house of Israel.
What about the house of Ishmael?
House of Israel.
Keep reading, King.
Cannot I do with you as this potter, saith the Lord? Behold, as the clay is in this potter's hand, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel.
Woo! Now, I like things when they're said clearly and easy to understand. So I'm going to have my brother read that one more time without me interrupting so that you can hear that clearly and understand what the Most High said. And think about the precepts which I said earlier. We are the clay in the potter's hand. So bring that out, King. Jeremiah 18:6.
Bring it out.
O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith the Lord? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in mine.
That's right. The Most High said it there Himself. O house of Israel, His chosen people. He didn't say all the other nations. He said us. We are in His hand. That means He is doing with us what He pleases. Just like He put us into captivity, that was because we were doing wrong. But we are His children. And if you love your children, I'm sure you discipline them. But if you don't love your children, then you probably let them run amok. You probably let your kids run your house. And that's your bad, not my bad. I don't blame somebody else for how I was brought up. I know I did wrong, and I suffered them consequences, and I accept it as a man. I see a lot of other nations, when they get in trouble, they're quick to blame everybody else. Or they're quick to say, oh, just go easy on him, he's a kid. Nah, he knew what he was doing, and I'll tell you who else knew what they were doing. His parents, because his parents didn't whoop his butt. His parents didn't teach him right from wrong.
That's right.
So that's why it's our responsibility to wake up our people and say, stop living up to the world standards.
That's right.
Stop being the criminals and thugs they appreciate us being, so that we pay the the ultimate price sitting behind the wall while they get to do whatever they want for doing the same crimes. Just like the legalization of marijuana. Our fathers, our grandfathers, our uncles, our cousins, our brothers, and even some of the women of our nations were getting hard time for selling weed 20, 30 years ago. But now you look at all these
Still in prison.
still in prison. Nothing was overturned. But you look at a lot of these nowadays legal marijuana stores, and who's running them? The other nations.
Right.
And they're doing it proudly.
Right.
And they're doing it with glee. While they see our people lining up in their shops buying that stuff that they could sell legally and get high off the hog and live comfortably. But you know what? That's all gravy. They can have that money. They can have that pride. Because you know who's going to strike them down? The Most High.
That's right.
You guys might escape your own justice system. That's because you created it. But you ain't going to escape the justice system of my creator, my judge, the Most High. So continue on doing your folly. But I tell our people, Yasharallah, stop participating in the wickedness that this evil world puts before us like a dangling carrot before the donkey. And with that, please get me Lamentations 4 and 2. Baba Kasha. Come on, bring it out, King. Lamentations 4 and 2, Baba Kasha. Speaking on that stuff just goes to show, all this folly that we're experiencing, that's the will of the Most High. These nations are enjoying their wickedness. These other nations are enjoying their folly. That's His will. He let them do that stuff. But He gives us clear direction in His Bible not to participate in their folly, because that will be their destruction and downfall. Bring that out, King.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 2.
That's right.
The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter?
Woo! Earthen pitchers. The children of Zion. Not the children of Esau. Not the children of Moab. Not the children of Ishmael. The children of Zion. That's Jerusalem. That's Yasharallah. That's us. The so-called blacks. The so-called Hispanics. The so-called native indigenous people. All the people that suffer the curses of Deuteronomy. If you ain't suffering them curses, then obviously you ain't part of Yasharallah.
That's right.
And if you're enjoying all this wickedness and folly, that means you most certainly are not the children of the Most High. So enjoy that wickedness, enjoy that folly, because you're going to get what you deserve and what you like.
That's right.
Let me go, bring your precept out, King.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verses 1 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Khan. Read that one more time.
Khan, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Woe, Salakia, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Pause real quick. Salakia. Woe unto them that create decrees of unrighteous decrees. You know what that reminds me of? These politicians and lawmakers that sit in them big houses with tons of money and food storage probably in their basements, creating these unrighteous decrees and laying out these unrighteous laws. But yet when they do something wrong, the laws and decrees that they create do not apply to them.
Wake them up, Fox.
You could think about a certain person in leadership and their son. He could smoke crack and have cocaine look tweaked out on TV, and it's all right because his people made those laws. But you got people who can't even afford crack, who are struggling trying to smoke crack, and they get knees put on their neck. They get thrown in prison and get punished to the highest degree. So continue that out, King.
And that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Khan, grievousness.
Yeah, it's like those Jim Crow laws.
Khan. And the marijuana laws, yep, grievousness. And that also reminds me of that other precept, roughly paraphrasing. The laws of God, the Most High, are not grievous.
Right.
But the laws of men are hard to follow because they're so crooked and they got so many loopholes, and they apply to some people and not all people. We're not worried about that stuff. We're worried about the more basic stuff. You know what I mean? That stuff is just confusion and folly, and that keeps people thinking of other stuff. We're trying to wake up our people to follow the basic laws of the Most High and understand to go back to what the Most High is telling us.
Right.
Not be confused on all this other stuff that men put out there to try to confuse us and take our attention off the true biblical laws and statutes that we should be following.
That's right. Wake them up, Bob.
All right, so one thing I was going to say too, when the Ak Joel was talking about Lamentations 4 and 2, when it said Yasharallah is a pitcher, like I was saying, a pitcher back then would hold either wine or water. And if you're versed in some of the parables and double meanings to that which is of those words, we know that water is the word of the Most High. The wine is the doctrine of the Most High. And so in Lamentations, he was discussing that Yasharallah is the earthen pitchers. So we are the holders of that wine and that water.
That's right.
And he said children of Zion. He didn't say Asher, or Slakia. Asher does hold that wine and water because that's our brother. But he didn't say Esau. He didn't say Moab. He didn't say Ishmael. They don't hold nothing but folly. And we see that every day. So we don't need that reminder.
Yeah.
Let me get Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, 33, and I believe that's a 13. Many are called and few are chosen. Enjoy that folly. Suffer the choices you make, sir. You want to be righteous? Follow the word of God.
Right. Right.
Those laws are not grievous. They're not hard to do. Just do them.
Many will hear, many will forbear.
Wake them up, Bach. 33 and 13, I believe. I got messy handwriting. That's either a 13 or an 18. We'll find out shortly.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33 and verse 13.
Wake them up.
As the clay is in the potter's hand, to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best.
So after hearing that, is it safe to say the Most High makes us for a reason, a purpose, to fulfill a role?
That's right.
So we got some people out here perpetuating folly, but then you got brothers like us who are doing the best to obey and observe the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And that is the will of the Father, because we are humble enough to let the Most High mold us into those earthen pitchers and hold that water and bring out that doctrine and fill up the cups of the empty vessels, yet to serve the purpose and fulfill the will of the Most High. So the water to the Akim that are here, serving that purpose for the Most High. And the water to the Akim and Aquathium, the Zaquanium, the Mashbakah that will hear this word and choose to turn their life to the Most High and turn away from man's laws, turn away from man's folly, because that ain't leading you nowhere but destruction.
That's right.
Let me get 2 Samuel 22 and 29, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 22 and verse 29.
Wake him up, Bach.
And it reads, For thou art my lamp, O Lord, and the Lord will lighten my darkness.
Khan, that's right. One more time.
For thou art my lamp, O Lord, and the Lord will lighten my darkness.
There you go. The Most High is our lamp, and He will lead us out of darkness. So that is why we say, read the Word. Do what it says, because the Most High is going to be that light to get you through the darkness. Right now, you might be thinking you're living in the sunshine out here listening to this folly music, eating that abomination at these stands, paying top dollar that you worked hard for. But really, the Most High is like, man, they ain't doing what they're supposed to do, so woe unto them. If I could get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, Baba Kasha.
Bring it out.
Khan. Oh, good. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Baba Kasha.
Oh, yeah, it's right here on my shirt.
Right?
Yeah, right here on my shirt. I'm asking. No, yeah.
Wake him up, Bob.
Yeah, fucking chapter. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13.
That's right.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
Now fear the president.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
Now fear your congressman.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
What about them people that got blue and red lights on their cars and carry guns? Should we fear them?
Fear God and keep his commandments.
That's right.
God.
Is there more to that, King Salakia?
And keep, Salakia. For this is the whole duty of man.
Wow.
God.
So that tells us, Yasharallah, that we have a purpose.
God.
To obey the commandment to the Most High.
That's right.
That is the purpose of our life.
God.
Now we understand through the curses, if you read them in Deuteronomy, that we were taken away from our truth, from our heritage. So it's understandable that we were born into wickedness, that we were born in sin. But the Most High has a will and a purpose. And Yasharallah is that will. Yasharallah is that purpose. That is why we are here, to wake you up to the truth of what the Bible says.
That's right.
Not what the law says of man. That's folly. We don't believe in folly. We ain't afraid of folly. We're afraid of the Most High. And that's why we obey him. We're not worried about what's going to happen to us on this earth. We see what happens to us on this earth. We get persecuted unjustly. We get treated unfairly. We don't get the things that other nations get. But that's all right. Because you ain't going to get what you think you deserve either when we get what we got coming for observing and fearing God, the Most High.
We got next.
That's right.
We got next.
We got next. So when you guys got a foot on your neck, don't ask for mercy because you didn't give it.
God.
Let me please get Psalms 119, verse 105, Baba Kasha.
God.
Fear God. That's right. Just like that last precept. Fear God.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 105.
Wake him up.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet.
What's the word?
A
lamp to my
unto
feet.
my feet.
Okay. All right.
And a light unto my path.
That's right. The word is a lamp at my feet to the path. And that went with the previous verse that talked about the Most High being that lamp lighting our path. So that's why I say, if you are part of the 12 tribes of Yasharallah listed on this, then know that your whole duty is to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of God. That is what we're supposed to do. Fear God. Don't fear the man with the badge and the gun and the baton. Don't fear the man sitting in the mansion who's thinking up grievous laws that he wants you to keep, but he won't keep or his kids keep either. Fear God. Follow the Bible. Get on that path that the Most High has for you, that he will light your way. If you see yourself falling off the path, think of the word. That is the lamp. Think of the Most High and get back on that path. Bring it out, King.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
That's right. Like I said before, and as has been said before by other camps as well as by my Akim when they bring it out, we've all suffered that persecution of hurt, whether it be at the hands of our own friends and family, or of the law, or of the people who we don't even know. But even then, we're still here. So we shouldn't worry about that earthly pain. We should fear the Most High with what he could do to our soul. Because just imagine being a piece of crap in this life, and the Most High brings you back as a literal piece of crap the next life.
Bring it out.
That is what you deserve for being a piece of crap. But if you do the Most High of the will, or the will of the Most High, Salakia, my dyslexia is showing, then the Most High will do what is right according to what you do. So he could kill the body and the soul.
That's right.
So fear that. Don't fear being persecuted in this life, because we will endure, because we are Yasharallah.
That's right.
We don't cry and bicker about the little things that have been done to us unjustly or unrighteously, because the Most High had a purpose for that. And that's why we're standing here today. because that didn't knock us down then, and it's not going to stop us today because we got the Most High on our side. And when the Most High is on your side, you can't lose.
That's right.
Let me please get Nehemiah 1:1. And this little story of Nehemiah, if you're not familiar with it, kind of lands on the back of what purpose of the Most High's will is. Some of us had real cush jobs. Some of us still have real cush jobs. But as you'll read in Nehemiah, having the best job is nothing compared to when the Most High calls you to do his work. That's the best job. I love my job. Bring it out, King.
It's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Wake him up.
The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. And it came to pass in the month Chislu, Kaslu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan, the place, that Hanani, one of the brethren, came. Hanani, one of the brethren, came, and he came.
This is a tough one. It ain't easy. Go ahead, King. Yeah. I picked a tough one.
God, that Hanani, one of the brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. We want to keep going down verse 3.
Khan, continue, please. Baba Kasha.
And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days, and fasted and prayed before Yahawah of heaven, and said,
Khan, bring it out.
And said, I beseech thee, O Lord, Yahawah of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned.
Khan, the water. Now that was a lot. That was a lot. I'm not going to lie, but I'll tell you what, when I read it, a movie played in my head. So let me break down that movie a little bit for you. The brother Nehemiah, he was a cupbearer for the king, so that's why I was talking about having a cush job. 2-in-1. Salakia. Oh, wait, talks about the cupbearer. So Nehemiah had a cush job, and the Most High served a purpose. The Most High will comes before anything. So what had happened was Nehemiah's brother and some friends came to Nehemiah, and Nehemiah inquired and said, hey, how's them dudes from Jerusalem that escaped? And he basically let them know, man, it's not all good. It's going bad over there. The walls of Jerusalem burned down. They broke down. So he's like, sorry to interrupt you at your cush job and give you this bad news, but since you asked, I'm going to tell you the truth. And that was the will of the Most High to make that meeting happen, so to speak. And so Nehemiah, having that cush job, could have easily said, sorry to hear about the luck, but I'm going to go back to my fancy job where I'm taking care of real nice inside this castle, serving for Artaxerxes, the Persian king. But instead, the Most High was on this brother's spirit, because what did he do? He fasted, he meditated, he prayed to the Most High, the wonderful and terrible God, not the nice God who's just handing out popsicles and lollipops. He said the terrible and fantastic Most High God. He prayed to him and said, I am your servant, beseech thee, help me to understand what I need to do, help me understand what's going on with our people. And so that is the breakdown of what I seen in my head when I read that chapter in Nehemiah. So that's why I wanted you guys to understand, even though we got cush jobs and we might have it easy, that's all great and all, but when the Most High called you to do his work, please do not hesitate as children of Yahawah, because you got a better reward coming in the next life if you serve the Most High. So serve that will, fulfill that purpose, and do what the Most High calls you to do. And don't think it's coincidence. Don't think it's by accident, because Nehemiah's spirit bared witness unto what he was about to be called to do. And he humbled himself and fasted and meditated and prayed to the Most High for that guidance. He asked the Most High to be the lamp at his feet, to show him the path so that he could get to where the Most High wanted him to be. You got a precept, King? Bring it out.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 24, just on that point. It says, by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
Khan. And if you've seen people walk by us when we try to hand them a flyer or ask them if they have a minute for the Word of God and they say no, then they're not doing what Moses did. They're enjoying this folly. Right. They're comfortable in their sin. They're okay with being lied to. They're okay with being oppressed by the oppressors. But Moses was not. Right. Nehemiah was not. Those stories are in the Bible for a reason, as inspiration, as motivation, to let us know we're not the only ones going through stuff in life, whether it be good or bad. Because like we know, Moses had a fantastic life, if that's what you want to call it, living in Pharaoh's community, but that was all sin. That was all folly. And he chose rather the affliction to be with his people in the dirt, in the dust, in the ghettos, suffering those afflictions, but serving the will of the Most High. And look what happened. He's immortalized through these books, through these tales that we talk about day in, day out, as inspiration and motivation for us to keep going in this truth and refuse the folly, refuse the wickedness that this world puts before us. We choose God first and foremost, and then his son, Yahawashi, because he also served a good example to follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Abanawa Yahawah, his father, our father.
That's right.
So to continue on